Hey ladies, so this is part one of Katie Gets an Ablation, and I wanted to share with you why and my experience. And the reason is because I see so many posts and I hear, do we really hear things when we read them on social media? Anyway, I see so many posts and see so many conversations about what ails us as we begin to get older, as women, as we go through the P word, perimenopause, gotta love it. I'm smack dab in the middle of that right now. And so I just thought I would share my story, share my experience for anybody who might be experiencing the same thing. And, perhaps you're thinking that this solution could be a solution for you. So I was an older mom. I had my only child at 35, just before I turned 35, actually. And after that, I noticed a massive change in my cycle where it used to be, kind of a pain, a little annoying, but not completely debilitating and ruining my life and making me stay home and cancel appointments when it decides to come, right? If you know, you know. So having gone through several embarrassing moments and a lot of pain and suffering and I decided to talk with my doctor about the solutions that I had. And she brought up 3 different solutions. The first one being a hysterectomy, which seemed a little intense, for my needs and what I'm currently going through. So I decided, no, it's probably not my plan of action to be doing that. The second thing she said was, I think an IUD, is that the right term? I've only ever had one brief experience with that, and it did not work for me in the past. Of course, it was for a completely different reason, but it wasn't my thing. The whole situation was actually really awful. So I decided not to do that. The third option was an ablation, where they go in, and I believe this is the correct, y'all that know the correct terms and whatnot, correct me out there, but they go in and burn the uterine lining, right? Yes. So that way there is less opportunity for collection there, I guess, if you know what I'm saying. And it's supposed to completely slow down to almost nothing or completely eliminate your cycle. So yay, I'm hoping for the latter because I'm over it. It's been 35 years since I've been going through this. But again, as of late, since the baby, so since about 10 years ago, it's been just awful and completely controls my life. There's been more occasions than I care to admit where I've been sitting in front of a home buyer or at a listing appointment and I feel the trickle down my leg. Like, it's just not okay. And I'm done. And honestly, I'm not having any more kids. So it's like that part of things is over and I kind of just want my life back, if that makes sense. So last week I did part 1. Part 1 was, so I'm cash pay. I have catastrophic insurance because that's what happens when you're self-employed. Anyway, that's a whole other video for another time, but I'll tell you how much it cost. So I went in and did an ultrasound and biopsy because they wanted to make sure that the lining, there was nothing cancerous in the lining. I'm assuming they didn't want to burn that in or whatever medical term that is, for when they're doing the actual procedure, if that did exist. So it was important to them to screen that and make sure that that wasn't there. So they went in, did the ultrasound, which was an on-top ultrasound and then a different one. And they did a biopsy and that wasn't too bad. They requested that I take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen about an hour before the procedure, which I did. And everything was fine. There was a little bit of cramping, but it wasn't too crazy. I was in and out of there in like 20 minutes. I had to leave a urine sample as well. Of course, they need to check to see if you're pregnant, and that was a no. Thankfully, we'd be having a much different video if it wasn't. So that was it. Test came back. I'm good to go. So I'm moving to the second round. Second round's going to be in a couple of weeks, and that's when they actually, I think, put me out totally. I don't know. She said we'll make you very comfortable, but then another nurse said I would be sleeping. So I don't know. That cost for cash pay is right around $3,000. So this thing better work. Fingers crossed, guys. Wish me luck. I'll be back to let you know how it all panned out. Oh, recovery from that first part wasn't bad. I just felt kind of weird for the rest of the day, but that was it. Anyway, all right. I'll see ya on the other side. Bye. Hey guys, so part 2 of the ablation experience, I guess is what we can call it. So I had to, just like with any time that you go under, I had to fast the night before. So no food or drink after midnight or whatever it was. My surgery, I guess that's what I call it, because I think that's like the best term for it. But anyway, it was in the morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. So needed to fast for, well, it's probably 8 hours or something like that. But the funny thing is of course, when you first get in there, they want to take a pregnancy test. So that's a urine test. And I'm like, well, if I can get some out, I'll help you, but I don't know. Anyway, it ended up working out, and I was able to take that test, so I was able to move forward and have the procedure. So I went in, and the place that I went to was really cool. I love my doctor. She's really very comforting and very down to earth. So that was helpful. So when I went in to the actual room itself, I got all, poked with the IV and got all undressed and did the whole thing. The one thing that weirded me out, like super weirded me out, and I've had a baby, obviously, and I'm a woman, so I've had those, used to be yearly checkups, now not so much, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm pretty used to the stirrups, but these were like really weird stirrups where your knees go over it versus just put your ankles in it or put your heels in it like normal. So that was a little bizarre, but at that point I had already had the IV, so I kind of didn't care. They just started chatting with me about kids and whatnot. I had 2 anesthesiologists in there, as well as my doctor, and then she had some help, so I guess a nurse. And honestly, I don't remember anything between the conversation about kids and waking up in the recovery room not very long later. So the procedure itself, I think, was an hour or less. It really wasn't very long. Again, I'm a little kind of shaky on that because I don't recall because I was under. But there wasn't any pain to speak of. When I got done, I was a little bit crampy as the, meds, I guess, wore off. I did have the discharge that they were talking about for quite some time. In fact, I'm still dealing with that 6 weeks later. So from what I was told, you have that recovery period, and it's like a watery substance. I don't want to get too much into detail about it, but I mean, it's not like a period. So anyway, so I had that, and then I happened to have a cycle a couple of weeks after the procedure. And it was incredibly different than what my cycle was like before. A lot lighter, a lot shorter, and totally manageable. So what I was told is that the ablation is either going to eliminate my cycle completely or it's going to severely cut down. And the severely cut down part, if what I just experienced is my experience going forward, then fine, because it was a heck of a lot more manageable than what I had been dealing with before, which was the whole reason for me going through with it, right? So that happened. Again, I'm about 6 weeks out of the procedure now, and I'm still somewhat experiencing the recovery portion of it, but I feel great. I was back to my normal self in a day or two. It really wasn't too crazy, too bad, too painful, and I'm just really looking to be on the other side of recovery, and I'm hopeful that the next couple of months reduces the impact of the cycle even more. And I mean, heck, if I get rid of it entirely, that's going to be a huge success. So feel free to message me or comment below, or any questions. I'm happy to answer. I'm an open book, guys. Just want to hop on here and support whomever might be going through what I went through and is interested in this particular solution or is exploring this particular solution. Just hope that it helps. All right. Have a great day, guys. Bye. Hey, guys. Okay. This is the final update, and cycle time happened, and I was actually on a cruise. And so my experience was really welcomed because of the cruise and being away from home, and had my surgery. I keep calling it that. It's not really that, but they do call it a surgical procedure, so that's where I got it. But had it not worked as well as it did, I certainly wouldn't have enjoyed the last 2 or 3 days of my vacation. And when the cycle came, it was so minimal. I was so excited. And of course I thought, well, okay, this is probably just the beginning, you know how things can start slow. But it went away in about a day and a half. And that was it. It was done. I am hopeful that this is the experience that I have going forward. If it is, great. If it goes away, even more, even better. But yeah, it worked for me. So overall, great experience. Hope this helps. Feel free to message me if you have any questions that I didn't answer on this video.